Hey everyone, ever wonder how long it takes to build a car from scratch, or what parts actually go into it? In a series of videos, we're walking you through how a Jetta gets assembled from start to finish. What you're seeing now is the painted car body arriving at final assembly. The first step? Scanning a barcode on the crossbeam. That little code holds all the details about this car's configuration. After the scan, a spec sheet and 2 barcode stickers are printed. The sheet gets slapped on the hood, and the stickers go right above it. Next, the hood gets opened up using a support fixture and locked in place. A travel card is grabbed, and 1 barcode sticker is placed on it. After removing the strap from the driver's side door, the travel card goes inside the car. The second barcode is stuck on the left door. Only after double-checking it matches the chassis number. Now on the passenger side, the door strap is removed too. Any grease on the trunk lid is wiped off to prep it for the rear badges. Then it's time to grab 2 trunk springs and a hydraulic strut. First, the springs go in. If they feel too soft, there's an extra mounting hole for more tension. Then the strut gets installed. It makes opening and closing the trunk smoother. Rubber plugs get pushed into 5 holes under the trunk lid. These are for draining leftover coating fluid after painting. What you're looking at now is the Jetta badge. It uses imported 3M adhesive, which works best around 86 degrees Fahrenheit. So the badge is warmed up in a heater box first. Once it's ready, the trunk is set at the right angle with a support stand. On the left goes the FAW Volkswagen badge. Then the protective film is peeled off. On the right, Sagitar is placed up top and 300 TSI underneath. A roller tool presses everything down for better grip. Now the support stand is swapped out and a new tool helps install the BW badge. After peeling off the backing, it's stuck on and pressed down again with the roller to lock it in place. Up front, sound dampening insulation gets added inside the hood. Clips are pressed into place so it stays tight. This helps cut down engine noise getting into the cabin. Then 2 rubber bumpers go onto the hood. These help adjust the panel gaps between the hood and engine bay. A water channel sound pad also gets stuck inside the groove after peeling the backing. A torque-controlled electric wrench is used next. Another piece of sound insulation is pushed into a hole inside the A-pillar. Then 2 hinge-limiting bolts on the front doors get loosened. Same thing happens for the rear doors too. The door latch on the frame is removed. Protective pads go on the hinges before the doors are taken off. Each one is moved onto a rolling cart. Once it's locked in, the pads are removed. Rear doors follow the same steps and are sent to another line for extra parts installation. Now we grab 4 rivets and a rivet gun. These get punched into the trunk's process holes. And no, rivets aren't just for cutting costs, they serve a specific purpose here. Next up are the door frame weather seals. They're installed starting from the corners, pressed along the edge. Inside the seals are metal clips that need to snap into the flange. You've got to make sure there are no gaps or lifted edges. The same thing happens with the back door frames. These weather strips keep water out and help reduce road noise. Whatever you do, don't pull them off or mess with them. Now we bring in a barcode scanner and some dashboard pins. After scanning, the pins get installed into the dashboard bracket and tightened down using an Atlas electric gun. Next, we install front and rear door latches, 4 screws total. These get mounted on the B-pillars and tightened with the same electric tool. Watch closely. On each side, the first screw is only snugged up, not fully tightened. There's a reason for that. Under the seats, a rubber bushing gets tapped in with a mallet. Then the trunk latch is installed. The bolts follow a sequence. First one snug, then the second is locked, then back to tighten the first. Now for the transmission mount. We grab the mount, a seal strip, and 4 bolts. The bolts go into the mount, then the whole thing gets secured to the left frame rail. With the seal strip fitted to the hood, each bolt is hand-tightened 3 turns before locking it down. To wrap up the door seals, a pneumatic roller gun is used. It presses the embedded metal strip into place. This tool runs about $1,000. No regular shop's gonna have one lying around. Next, we grab the hood seal and the AC intake screen, plus 4 screws. The screen gets mounted inside the water channel. The hood seal goes on the passenger side, then gets tightened with the power wrench. When you switch to recirculated air, this is where it flows before hitting the cabin filter. Also helps block bugs and mice. Then comes the trunk weather strip. It's threaded through the lid, adjusted, and clipped into the lip with a built-in metal core. If it's loose, water sneaks in. And it won't block road noise either. Now a robot arm rolls up. It grabs the Atlas Easy electric gun, scans the config sheet, and tightens the 4 bolts on the transmission mount in a crisscross pattern for even pressure. Later, this mount will lock into a big bracket on the frame. Once that's done, the robot rolls off, 2 more sound pads go into the water channel, and a rubber plug is pressed into a firewall hole. Next, the shark fin antenna is dropped through the roof and bolted down with the electric wrench. Big step, the sunroof seal, 1 solid piece, no breaks or gaps. It's carefully pressed around the sunroof opening. After that, the backing is peeled and a roller goes over it twice. This seal uses imported 3M adhesive. If done right, it stays put. Next, 4 vibration damping pads go on using an electric roller. The trunk seal is firmly pressed in. 1 pad per rear wheel well, another near the rear inner wall, same for both sides. These help cut noise from rear wheel vibrations. Now we see the VIN engraving machine in action. It clamps to the frame, scans the config sheet, and etches the VIN, the car's fingerprint. That number tells you where and when it was built and who built it. One of a kind. Can't be changed. While that's going on, the front hood latch is installed with a power wrench. Once the engraving's done, the machine backs off. Metal shavings get brushed away. A transfer paper goes on, gets rubbed to pick up the VIN, and then peeled off. That paper gets sealed in plastic and attached to the car. It'll be needed for registration. To protect against rust, waterproof tape goes over the VIN. Last step, the fuel line is pushed through a hole on the right side of the frame. A rubber mallet helps tap it in nice and snug.